Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Samantha Perry. Samantha, today we had a little rain this morning, so races 2 and 5 are going to be off the turf. Those are those 2 5-furlong sprints, but the stake is still on the turf, and it's listed as firm as far as we know now. We got a fast main track, all-weather Tapeta, but what a day it was yesterday.
Yes, it was. It was a mandatory Rainbow Six payout, and it seemed like it was going to be very chalky, and it started out that way, but the finale really got some money in the bankroll, and I imagine what a lot of people did was singled Fly the W, singled Best Stream, and probably hit the all ball. Kid Cairo was a price.
Yeah, I think 14-1 or something like that. So 2,300. It was just an exciting day all around. So that was fun to be part of that. So we're going to start it off today with race number 1, and it's going to be 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. These are claimers for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races in life. Now, Brian's going to have an early pick 5 ticket, but he had some scratches. He's on his way in, so he'll be updating those tickets as soon as he gets. We didn't want to do his handicapping for him because no matter what we would have done, he would have said, "Oh, I was going the other way."
We would have been wrong.
Right,
yeah.
would have been wrong. So,
but we're right. So.
So let's delve into this first race. And you went with the number 3, and I also went with the number 3, and that's Grand Roquet.
Yeah, this is a horse that first off the claim. Now, Marty Drexler does great work, and now you're with another barn, so you worry about that just a little bit. But this horse has speed, and we got some rain, like you mentioned. The speed on the Tapeta when it rains especially, it's very good.
Yeah, and, they got the apprentice on, and this horse trying older horses again, and, showed that speed last time out. And he looks to me like the speed in that particular race. Now you went with the number 2 in second, and that is Modern Lane.
Yeah, this horse, I feel like it was his best effort on the dirt, but at least maybe you can say it wasn't just the dirt. Maybe it was a sprint distance. Only the 2-turn Tapeta races he's got showing, so let's see how he does with the cutback.
I had the 4 in second. Super Sunshine is cutting back to 5 furlongs, hoping the latest distance switch gets him out of second gear. He looks like one of those horses that just doesn't want to get it out of second gear. Maybe a little bit of a cutback for Lionel Reyes. Elizabeth Dobles will be in the trainer of that horse. And we'll see if this horse can get out of second gear, a logical one. Then you went to the inside with the number 1 horse in here, Sueno Provendo.
Wow, that was good. Jose D'Angelo, a barn that has done a lot of right moves. He just has had a phenomenal past year. I think that this horse on the cutback, on the class drop, trying the Tapeta, maybe we'll have something that will stick.
Super Sunshine early on in the wagering, taking the money. Now, as we mentioned at top, you didn't hear us. The second race will now be contested at 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. It switches over. It's an allowance optional claimer, and we have a couple of scratches in there. We just got the 2, Vamonos Vejo, and the number 9, Bella Future was out all along, so we had to switch our picks a little bit. Once again, Brian will have an early pick 4 ticket, and of course he'll be showing you that ticket once we get back here on the air after Pete gives you scratches and changes in here. And Samantha, you went with the number 7 in here, and it's Nice Sharon.
This horse was lower down on my ticket whenever it was on the grass, but now I feel like he moves way up, Ron, moving to the Tapeta here because although winless on this synthetic surface here, he does have 2 second-place finishes, and they were good ones as well, and I just think that this is a horse that's eligible to have a better shot on the Tapeta.
I just thought the 6, was going to try the turf and hadn't tried the turf since like last April, but has run well on the Tapeta, so I kept this horse on my ticket. Fernando Abreu is 13% with surface switch, which is not a situation he's going to have to deal with today, so his numbers are positive with the horses just running straight on the Tapeta. So I kept Grimes in second, and we had your 7 in third. What about the number 8 horse in here, and that is Richie?
A horse that could fill out things underneath. He used to have some speed. I feel like he's lost it. He hasn't really gotten on the right track here. It's a tactical outside post. Luca Panici gets aboard him, and Luca Panici has ridden him a few times before.
So race 2, as we mentioned, off the turf this afternoon to be run at 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. And now we will go to race number 3. Now, this one is 7 furlongs on the main track, and there's no scratches or jockey changes in here. And it's hard not to have Lady Monique on top of your ticket, I thought, at least.
Yep, I agree completely. First off the claim for a barn that out of 6 starts has 2 wins. That's a good sign. The second place finish last time was in the slop. Maybe it helped her a little bit, but the the fact of the matter is none of this horses that she's facing are that strong.
Yeah, maybe with the little bit of rain that we got today, it'll help her too. But, that was the first time she ever tried the dirt, albeit it was on the sloppy track. Carlos Navarez claimed the last out. He's got Sonny Leon in the saddle. Looks like a logical one in there. Then we both went to the 6th. Field of Blossoms, who's stretching out with blinkers added after finishing even third, going 6th for Bobby DeBona, and he had Fly to W yesterday. Boy, that horse likes to win.
Yeah, he does. That was great to get his confidence back, I think. And Field of Blossoms, a filly that he took from Terry Pompey 3 starts back. The last 2 races, he had about 6 days in between them. Now she's got more time in between these races, and I like that move.
The number 1 horse in here, and that is Spread the Risk. This goes to the Bobby Hess Jr. barn after the claim. Actually saw Bobby here yesterday. Cuts back to 7 furlongs, first time since finishing second against those 16 maidens. That was going a mile in the slop back in February. I think you have a stat you want to show on this horse?
Yeah, I did with trainer Bob Hess, and this is first off the claim in maiden claimers. So Bob Hess, this is maybe 12, 13% trainer. And so for 11%, isn't that strong here. And you claim the horse in February, and now it's April, the end of April.
Right.
Where have you been?
Yeah, it's always a good question to ask. So we'll see how that plays out with the number 1 ridden by Chris Landeros, his last day, I believe, here, going to Churchill Downs. Now we're going to turn the page once again and go to race number 4. And race number 4 is going to stretch it out to a mile, 70 yards on the Torpedo with no scratches or jockey changes. And you went and I went with the number 4, Belly of Jelly. And don't look at me when you talk about this horse.
I would never. I'm sitting next to Brad Pitt. Are you kidding? Belly of Jelly drops back down in class. I think that will help. Oscar Gonzalez has had some live runners just this meet so far, and this is a race where they all take turns beating each other, I feel like.
Yeah, it looks like the logical one, exactly what you said. And yeah, I went with the 7 in second. Candy Street is turning back a little bit after closing to finish second against this level of competition, going a mile in the 16th on the all-weather Tapeta. And I think we have a stat on Elizabeth Dobles in this race.
Yeah, so let's lump Shake Your Bones and Candy Street into this.
Right.
This is the last 2 months at Gulfstream, 1 for 26. This is a barn last year that had a really good year. This game is so up and down, but it is really hard to play a barn like this at this kind of rate.
Yeah, you just got to get them out of that doldrums. We'll call it that as we're getting going. So the 7 in there. But you did go with the number 1, Noble Wave, in second, and that is the inside horse. Boy, this barn, Ronald Court, they've had some nice runners.
No kidding. And this is a horse, he got in a little bit of trouble last time as well. You'll get Jose Morelos aboard this time, so getting away from the bug rider now to a 19% rider this meet, which is a good sign. And another one, no speed though, and that could be a problem.
The number 2, Go G, is dropping and returning to the Tapeta today after tracking the pace and flattening out against those 16 claimers, going a mile on the turf. Antonio Sano is 19% with horses going turf to Tapeta. Wow. And this is we always call it this, an Antonio Sano type of race. He jumps up and wins them when you least expect it. Yep. Not only does he win them, they win it by open length somehow.
That's so true. And this horse, when he's on the lead, he's the best. So let's see if we can get him there today.
See if we can do it today. But with that said, we'll take a short break. We'll come back with my Rainbow 6 ticket and lots of other stuff.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron and Samantha Bryan's going to be joining us throughout the afternoon. If you're just joining us, we had a little bit of rain here today, so it really hasn't affected us too much, except a couple of races came off the turf. The second and the fifth, both of those, they decided to take them off the turf today. But the stake is still on. Yep. So fifth race today is where we start the Rainbow Six, and I have a single in here. It was my best bet of the afternoon on Moonlight Bay, and it was for the turf. But I think this horse might even look better on the Tapeta after that last race in there. For Todd Pletcher from post 11, got second beat in the length in there, so I kept it that way. We'll talk about that race in a moment. 3 deep for me in race number 6. My top pick is the 7 in Entendre. In race number 7, a couple of scratches in there did not affect me. I went with the number 3 horse on, I actually have the 5 horse on top in there, Bullet Valentina for Ronald Coy at 10-1. In the 8th race this afternoon, just 2 for me in there with the 8 and the 3. The 8 is my top pick. Hours in the Day for Mr. Todd Pletcher. Race number 9, the 2 horse is my top pick. That's our stake, the Golden Beach, and that one is on the turf. And then in race number 10, my long shot of the day is 7 Flight Till Dawn, 6-1 on the morning line. I believe first start for Heather Smolin as a trainer.
Yeah, it's great. She was an assistant to Ralph Nix for a while.
And also to
Dale Romans?
No,
Barkley Tag?
Barkley Tag.
There you go.
Yeah,
Landed on him eventually.
Yeah, we got there.
She's got lots of experience. That's what we're trying to say.
Tons of experience. That's it. We'll say that. So interesting to see. We got the scratches when we first came on the air here for both the 2nd and the 5th. So we had to do a little homework. And as I mentioned, I was sort of glad that Moonlight Bay was okay on either surface. So I seemed to luck out there.
Yeah, I agree completely. This helps out a lot because that. Oh well, look at this.
Oh, tropical turf.
We do have the tropical turf pick 3 here. Punch this a few times. This pays huge. Yesterday, this tropical turf pick 3 with 2 huge favorites paid a ton of money.
It was like that couple of thousand.
Yeah,
it was right.
So $3 minimum. I've got Ron's top pick. That's mine as well. Race 9, we are on the grass for. So only 1 Tapeta race. The other 2 are on the turf. Race 9, I do have the 9 on top. That is Beauty of the Sea. That's my long shot. In race 10, I singled the 4 Saint in the City for Bill Mott. Just a $12 play.
Yeah, Saint in the City looks tough. I was trying to get cute with Flight Till Dawn, but I also have that one on my ticket there. So $12, and you're absolutely right. And you tell us each and every day that this thing really can pay. Yeah. And as you mentioned, we already sort of tipped why both of us like on Moonlight Baby, even though there's a surface switch this afternoon. Interesting, you went with the number 2 in second, and that is Rogers Park, and I think it's a logical choice too for going off the going to the Tapeta this afternoon.
Yep, the Tapeta race showing was a good one as well, and he showed speed. She showed speed, pardon me, and that's what you want to see, especially on a day like today. She could just take over on this field, and they might not come back to her.
Well, I'm a sucker for war fronts on the turf.
Yes,
if I see war fronts, I'm always picking it. So the number 6 horse in this drive is a beautifully bred daughter of Super Turf sire War Front. But this is on the Tapeta today. Yeah. I'm very curious. Can't believe that Christophe Clement decided to keep this horse in. He's 17% with his first time starters. He must want to get a race into the source, so he thinks he can run well on the Tapeta. And a lot of people are convinced that if you run well on the turf, you can run well on the Tapeta. So we'll see how that plays out. So now I think we're ready to go to race number 6 here.
All right.
And race number 6 is going to be 7 furlongs. And we have this one, allowance option claim, and no scratches or jockey changes in here. And I believe this is where you...
The late pick 5.
The late pick 5 starts. And Samantha does have a ticket.
I do indeed. This was a really tough sequence, I felt like. And we'll get into this race. Race 7, throw a dart at it. I actually had one more horse, and it was just going to be a little much. But I do have the 9 on top. Race 8, I have the 4D Hopper. Race number 9, I do have the 9 on top. That is my long shot Beauty of the Sea. And in race number 10, there's Saint in the City here on the big class drop, a $54 play.
$54 play. Very, very interesting ticket. And so, with that said, in the 6th race, Impromptu is one of the Impromptude is how it's spelled. It's not spelled like impromptu, so you got to check that out. Spell check kept kicking it back to me, and I thought the way I type, I was typing it wrong.
You did it the wrong way.
This is the right way, and I think you got a video you want to show.
Yeah, what an effort this was. This was in the Hutchison, and this horse Well, we'll see Beeline on Derby week yep. So that's for Riley Mott. This horse has won 2 in a row, but look at Impromptu at 25-1, running these horses down. Now he got a nice little pace set up here. That helped, but the gameness of this horse, and you see as he got closer to Beeline, he buried down even harder. That photo was a narrow loss.
Yeah, I think you got to have this one on top of your ticket. You did go with the horse right inside of it, and that is big effective. Eddie Plisa Jr., Luca Panici.
He won against state breds last time, but he's a nice Florida bred. I like the fact that he finally broke through. It seems like he's got his confidence back. It was a huge effort. 7 furlongs, I don't mind at all for him here today. We'll see if he can get it done.
Yeah, and I went with the 7 Entendre in here, and I just thought this was a logical contender in there for Carlos David. You know, he's got the speed, comes off that.
Yep.
And now he's coming off a 50, made an optional claim win. Tough to step up after a win and everything. I just thought he'd sit a nice outside trip.
Yeah.
He likes to stalk. And, you know, if you look through his past performances, he's knocked the heads with this type.
Yes.
They might have broke their maiden a little bit for him, but I think he could run well in spots, so I kept him on top. The number 4, we showed you the video there, and we ended it. You ended it with the Monopoly Man. Did you play Monopoly when you were younger?
I did. Did you?
No.
No, it's a very boring game, I feel like, for you.
Yeah.
Not enough action for
Yeah,
Nicoletti.
I couldn't bet on anything, so I couldn't figure it out.
Probably
I
go
see-
to jail all the
yeah,
time.
Yeah, I'd say, well, how come I can't bet here? I'll bet you 5,000.
Doesn't work.
We go. Oh, excuse me, I'm losing my voice already. We didn't even start yet. I'm losing my voice.
Yeah.
Mile 70 yards and the 7th race on the Tapeta. These are claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Scratch the 2, scratch the 4. And as Samantha said, you sort of get the old dart ready here for this particular race. And, you know, it's just a wide open affair. Now, Brian has a late pick for a ticket once again. He'll be coming. Oh, he's got it ready
He
here.
does,
So let's
yeah.
go.
Let's go.
Check. Yeah, he's got the 9 right on top. We'll talk about this race in a moment. And then in race number 8, he's got 3 deep, 4, 6, and 8. And the 8 is hours in the day. Todd Pletcher, I'm sure he's using that. Lots of coverage in the stake today, the Golden Beach, and I can't blame him in there. And then the last race, he's got your single in there, the number 4 horse in there, Billy Mott on the big drop. He's also using the 2 1 bite and the number 8, Bivol, I think it is. So $18, very affordable. So that's a good his place. Brian must be on the grounds changing tickets as we speak. So good to have him back in the fold. Not that he was gone anywhere, but so there is his ticket. And now we'll get to the 7th race. And, you know, I just thought that, you know, like you said, the 9, all 3 of us have the 9 on top. He's got it sing. It looked like the one to beat.
It does, especially off the trainer change with Victor Barboza. What a barn that had a great last summer, last spring. Slowed down a little bit during the championship meet, but it was just he fired all of his bullets during the end of the fall. So now we're back. This is a drop-in class. The horses run okay. It fits with these horses.
And that race back in January produced a trio of next out winners from like 5 starters. So it was a
impressive.
fruitful race, and certainly looks like the one to beat in there. Then you got the Grandma's Pudding. That's the name of the horse. I'm not just saying that. In second.
I think that this is a horse you're using on your ticket, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, back to the Tapeta. Good race. 2 starts back for the level. Another one that you just probably have to throw in.
So we'll go to race number 8 now. I think that's and this is where the coast to coast pick 5 is going to kick in for us in Santa Anita. Race 8 this afternoon, so make sure you mark that down. 7 furlong sprint. These are maiden 3-year-olds. We do have a scratch in here of the 5 expert witness, and I know you have a video you want to show of some of the horses that are in this field.
Yeah, we've got a Job and Black Fury coming out of this race. Now, a Job did some harder work on the front end. Black Fury did. A Job kind of reaped the benefits of that, just sat off a little bit more. Now, Sesame Seed Bagel ran back yesterday and was a narrow loss. That was a good race. So I'm glad to see that Sesame Seed Bagel was able to back that up. But you see the 4 and the 5, not a lot separating them. They were a big price this day, and they gutted it out. It was almost a race within the race there with those 2. Black Fury just getting a little bit of the best of them. But these are 2 horses I think you have to use.
And you're right about the Sesame Seed Bagel. That horse was favored, I believe, or close to favored. You know, took a lot of money and ran very, very well. Just got beat at the end, got a little tired at the end in in there. But you did go with D Hopper on top of your ticket, and I think this horse has a good shot debuting locally today.
Yeah, first time with Mike Maker, the blinkers go on, or second time, pardon me, Mike Dub Silks, Amisao Jaramillo. This horse has showed speed in the past. Just try to send him along.
You know, the distance of this race, 7 furlongs, and if you look at this horse's record up at Aqueduct in 7 furlongs, some horses like to run at that in-between distance, some don't, so I think he's a logical one. And Ajab, you saw the video there, have him on the ticket, so we'll see if, how things work out there. And I mentioned 8 hours in the day, and this one is a son of Hall of Fame sire, just made it into the Hall of Fame. Gun Runner is debuting for Todd Pletcher. He's 19% of his first-time starters. He starts his campaign. He gets Lasix. Edgar Zayas, 4 wins. Yes, that's more like saying mandatory yesterday. 4 wins on the card yesterday. Why is this horse here? Is that the question?
I think it's more the question of Gunrunner stands for 250, and this horse sold for 150 as a yearling. I don't know. Not a very good-looking Gunrunner.
Yeah,
he can beat me.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes.
We'll see, yeah.
Yeah, and, a lot of guys, they say, well, why Todd, that story. So
yeah, why is he running the horse here? Well, he belongs here.
Now we're going to go to the 9th race this afternoon, and this one is on the turf, and this is our feature race, and this is the Golden Beach, and it's $75,000. It's an overnight handicap for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, and we do have a scratch in here of the number 4 Cavalier Cupid, and I believe we want to show some video of this is Wide West, I believe.
Yep, St. Patrick's Day, Wide West, as well as Isabel Alexander. So this was the day that Wide West finished. This was 2 starts back for Wide West, 2 starts back for St. Pat's Day. I want this race from St. Pat's Day. She came back in her last race, ran hellacious splits again and couldn't back it up. I feel like this is a race that, one, is a strong race. Run for the Hills, the 7 who's closing, ended up winning at Keeneland 2 starts after this. St. Pat's Day just needs the lead. We saw the speed on the turf yesterday. We got to go.
Yes, you got to go. I did go with the 2 horse in here. You have a little further down in your ticket, Choose Joy, who was given some time off after finishing second to a horse that won 3 consecutive stakes races. Yeah. That's called Stone Style, and that was in the ladies' turf in the Abundancia Stakes. It's a hard-knocking closer, and you would think going to get that pace up front. You mentioned St. Pat's Day. Another Soul Hope is another who might come from off the pace, but there should be enough speed to help the number 2, but I'm all in agreement with St. Pat's Day for you, and you did go with the number 9 Beauty of the Sea.
Yes, so this horse coming off of a layoff now, she's making her first start now as a 4-year-old. She had her best races at Monmouth, which is a turf course that's a lot like ours, just very firm, not a lot of give in it. The Belmont at Aqueduct meet race, she didn't really take to that. It was a good turf that day, just cross that out. I like that she's fired a couple of bullets coming into this race for Joe Orsino. Perfect post position.
Oh, this is your long shot?
Yes.
Oh, that's the long shot
that's
of the day.
Shot, yeah.
I'm going to go, let me put a circle around that. I'm going to add that one to my ticket there because it's another race that's wide open in there. We got the 8 and the 7 part and the 2 part right, but I don't have the 9, so I'll be certainly looking at that. We'll go to the finale today, also on the turf at 7.5 furlongs, maiden claimers, and these are 3-year-olds and up. We do have a couple of changes we want to let you know. The jockey change comes on the 6th, make that run to Jesus Rios, and the number 9 is Siciliano will wear blinkers this afternoon. So you take it away with Saint in the City. It's your single in here.
Yeah, I like the fact that they keep him here and they drop him in class because at the end of the day, he is what he is. Because let's look at the replay of him. He just kind of finished a mid-pack 6th place finish. He showed some interest, though, which I like to see. And he's the 6th horse here. This wasn't the strongest race, but that's okay because he's still facing a lot easier than he did this day. You see him, he just kind of got tired. He started going up and down. That was his first start in almost a year. It was 8 months. Or no, pardon me, it was 11 months. And the class drop is where he belongs. Yeah,
and right at the level. The class drop, I think, is the key. I tried to give him a little bit of a long shot in the last with the 7, Flight Till Dawn, who we mentioned now in the head, the Smolin Barn. It's the son of Union Rags who cuts back to 7.5 today. First race, he had trouble early and late in that race. He had some traffic at the furlong marker. Finished 4th against this level. Was back in February. We'll see what we get this afternoon. And I'd like the reason I made this my long, I like the fact that Edgar Zayas sticks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he could have went other places.
could've.
He stuck even after that last race. So I like that situation. That's making it my long shot
Yep.
this afternoon. So just a real interesting card. You know, we had a scramble a little bit.
Bob and weave a little bit,
Bob
yeah.
and weave races 2 and 5. But when we come back, Brian will straighten everything out for us. He'll have all his tickets ready, and you'll get us two goofballs and take care of it. But we got a lightning round that we're going to do right now. And once again, the rainbow was just made today. So exciting yesterday.
It really did. It was a busy day out here yesterday. Look at that, over 2,300. Incredible mandatory sequence.
Yeah, I mean, it looked going into the last race that, you know, especially your ticket and Brian's ticket were all alive. It just looked like, you know, and you couldn't have them all unless
Nope.
you want to spend $800 or something
Yeah.
like that. So it was really good. And then, of course, fierceness. What do you think about post 17?
Well, it's the unlucky post 17 because nobody's won a Derby from 17, but he could be the first to do it. You see, he worked on Friday. This work, he hadn't even started working until after he finished. I was working with Agate Road, who's a turf horse here, Ron. But the further this work goes on, the further it gets better and better. You like the fact that he handles the Churchill dirt course. It's different there. Not all horses handle it, but look at him. I mean, Johnny's just barely moving his hands,
Right.
and he just goes on.
Yeah, it just goes on. And, I mean, there's a full page in the Daily Racing from about this work.
Yeah,
So
well, I mean,
that's
look
how-
at this.
yeah.
Yeah, he just like keeps on going. It's impressive. I think that the 17 post, I would rather have him outside than inside.
Yeah, I mean, the one post where, you know, Dornock got the one. That is so tough to win the one. 'cause
Sierra Leone
everybody
got
comes,
the 2. Yeah,
you know,
that's,
it's just tough. So those inside posts never been good. And if this horse runs like he's working fierceness, he's going to get the position he wants right there. It doesn't matter it's 17 or 16. I think it's a full gate now.
Yeah, it
they
is.
used
Yep,
to have the
it's-
break in the gate, but they had
they've
one
got
made.
the full gate now, and that evens the playing field a lot.
Yeah, that one in that gate when you got the one after the gate where the gate
That
stopped.
auxiliary gate, that wasn't any good. Yeah.
So also, as we mentioned a couple of times, we've got the coast to coast.
Yep, and the tropical turf pick 3. It's tropical Tapeta turf pick 3. So 5, 9, and 10 today, and then like Ron, you said, the coast to coast pick 5 again today. Races between here and Santa Anita. We've got our feature race here. That's the 9th, and then we've got a good maiden special weight, the 8th, to kick things off. 3 from Santa Anita. This pays huge as well.
That's us two, and we will be back throughout the afternoon. As I said, Brian will be joining us momentarily, and good luck to everybody out there. And boy, I hope you got part of that Rainbow Six yesterday. But watch this thing. Years and years, that's how long I've been here. The day after it's hit, somebody hits it again a lot of the times, and
believe
it
it.
pays $40,000-$50,000.
It does,
Not
yeah.
that it pays $20
Yeah.
or anything.
Yeah, they
so
gotta play it.
maybe that's if you didn't get it yesterday, today's your
Well,
day.
I got to play your ticket.
Good luck, everybody.